We got the tire on, the rims. Now we're also just gotta seat the bead. And so we're gonna weld these to the front rim. Welcome back to another episode of Main Metal Fab, everyone. This is part 4 of our Kraken build, aka the 500cc mini bike. So we are finally working on this thing again. I know it's been a long time coming, but it's gonna be worth the wait because we got huge changes coming, and it's gonna be awesome when it's finished.
Well, we're gonna start off by removing our rear wheel. Our foot pegs are back on. We're gonna be looking at routing our exhaust back up the right side.
Yep.
And we have some upgrades coming along.
Yeah, we got some goodies in. Nice stainless steel exhaust here. Nice muffler. And we got a 22-inch front tire made by Sun-F, speed rated for 130 miles an hour. So this thing is much, much taller than what's on it. So it's gonna raise it up in ground clearance a bunch in the front, and then also it won't explode when we ride. So we're gonna be installing that on the rear wheel here because we have a new rear rim. This one is going to go on the front. So
we can run dual brakes.
Dual front brakes, yep, because we have dual front brakes for this thing as well that came in. So we're gonna be figuring out a way to mount a brake, a hydraulic disc brake on this side and this side of the wheel on the front, on the forks. So that's, and then we're gonna do a front fender as well. That's gonna come up and integrate to our cluster there to cover that up and hide the wiring and just make it look better. So that's all we're gonna be doing in this episode. Tuning the carburetor more, we'll fire it back up again and give some revs at the end with the exhaust and everything. So stay tuned for all this, it should be a good one. So I got this piece cut out and mocked up. I cut this pie cut out of it, so I'm gonna weld that, and that is going to become our up for right here like this. So I'm gonna weld this up. Meanwhile, Russell is working on a bracket for our muffler to hang off of.
Just a little mounting tab.
Yep. So he's gonna drill that and cut that while I do this. I got it welded on the most I can without removing the exhaust. So now we'll finish the rest of it and then we'll remove it, weld it all up and put it back on.
So that's tacked in.
Yeah.
Brackets on. Now we just have to route this little portion of the exhaust.
And your beam is just messed it up, messing it up good. That's a shame. Didn't think about that. It's better stainless. Easier to stick.
Nice. That's our nice end.
Not with this one.
So that's gonna seal up nicely in the muffler.
Yep.
Gonna have to
Inside there like that.
on.
Now I gotta get this to meet here.
And then we're gonna have to weld on these little tabs for our springs to hold it on. So
Yeah.
down it goes.
So we just got the exhaust fully tacked on, mocked up. Comes down around underneath the foot pegs, the engine, the frame there, up to the front, into each cylinder. That looks so good. Got our custom Y pipe right there. Going to one single one with an increase of 2 inch. That's 1 3/4 right here. That's 1 1/2, 2 1 1/2, so going to 1 3/4, back to 2 inch to the muffler. And our muffler does have a baffle in it. So if it's too quiet, you know what that means, take it out.
Yeah.
So I just pulled the exhaust off. So now I'm gonna be able to weld it all up. Got that seam there, the rest of that one there, and then all these guys up here. So I'm gonna weld it all up and put it back on. And I gotta pull the carb off and check the spark plug so I can see how our jetting is, because I have a feeling it's really rich. And then we'll do that, clean the carburetor out, put some new gas in it, and try to fire this thing up and see how this exhaust sounds.
Brandon's currently working on the carburetor, giving it a little cleaning, a little tune up, all that. He's getting it ready to tune and run in the actual bike. But first he had to clean it up. It's been sitting for a while, so some of the jets were a little clogged. I moved the front wheel to the back just so we can roll it. The actual back wheel, I got it off the bike. It's going to the front, but before that, it's getting this new Sun F tire. So that's what I'll be working on next. Oh, this cardboard. Oh. The old tire's off, sitting there, very easy to remove because it's very rigid, kind of popped right off. But new tire's about to go on and setting up the wrangle this thing in.
We got the tire on, the rims, now we also just gotta seat the bead. It's gonna be a bit tricky, but...
Took a little bit of effort getting it on, but now it's gonna take some more effort getting some air into this.
Yeah.
A little bit of play, but
yeah,
it's for this size.
Yeah, it is. So it'll go. We just got might have to ratchet strap it. So we got the front tire on the rim. It was not easy, but we got it. And the rear tire and the rear rim, the new one, came in. And look at this thing. Freaking beast. It's gonna hook up. 8 by 9.5 by 8. And it's on a 1-inch live axle rim, so we can put a key in here. It's gonna get a locking collar on either side for a solid rear axle or a swing arm for this thing. So currently I need to make wheel spacers that'll fit in here because this front wheel is a little bit wider than the last one was. So we're gonna put wheel spacers in there so that way we can tighten our axle down. But I have to cut the current ones down. So I'm gonna do that. I took the measurement, it's 0.345 inches, and that's exactly how big each spacer needs to be to make the wheel perfectly centered in the frame. I got the brake rotors made at my shop today. I plasma cut these out by hand. So they came out decent, not great, you know, they're not 100%, but they're like 90% there. And so we're gonna weld these to the front rim around here, around the outside of this bearing here, because there's no way you can get a bolt to fit in between the rotor here, because there's like 3 bolt holes that would go here, and this is so close to the side of this, there's no way you can get a bolt through there. So we're just gonna weld it for now, because I am getting new forks eventually, so hopefully the new forks I get will be wider and allow us to be able to drill the holes out and put bolts in, because the welds will be easy to grind off. So I can just grind it off and we can pop them right back off in the future. So it won't be permanent, it's just semi-permanent. And then I also have this nice piece of stainless here I'm gonna use to start making the front fender. I cut out the fender shape I wanted. This is what I came up with. Looks pretty good. It's not finished yet, but this is the bottom part. I'm still gonna make a part that's gonna come up then and cover up around this. But we're gonna tack this in first. So we got the front wheel on, the front brake rotor's on. Looking good. Look at those tolerances. Look at how tight that is. Got our front fender mounted. Looking sweet. I'm gonna finish it off tomorrow with a covering, like making it flow up into this. And then we're gonna do the front brake calipers as well tomorrow. So I'm tuning the carburetor a little bit more. I'm working on getting it dialed in. It's a really tricky thing to dial in. I'm gonna look at the left cylinder spark plug now and see what that's looking like, because the right one's looking really lean. So we'll see how the left one looks and see if it looks the same. So we're also cut these two pipes out, each 2 inches long. These we're going to be clamping around the outsides of these forks. So he's gonna cut them in half, and then we'll be able to clamp them around the outsides here. And that will give us something to be able to weld our brake bracket to put our caliper on. So he's gonna cut those while I tune the carb some more. So this is what we're thinking. We have these two cut in half now and cleaned up, and they fit around the forks. So we're gonna weld a washer to one side and a nut to the other, so you can run a bolt through it and tighten it again each other, and they'll clamp around the fork, and we'll put one on each side. So we're gonna weld those up and then see what happens. So we tuned the carburetor a bit. It's not perfect yet. It still has some rev hang, I think, and like it doesn't rev out quite all the way. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. I think it's still running a bit lean, but we'll fire it up so you can hear what it sounds like now, because it's sounding a lot better. Idles, it just has some major rev hang, and it doesn't rev all the way out yet.
I believe you blew out your baffle.
You think? I vibrated it loose. That's funny. What do I even need to tighten it? No baffle.
That's all that was holding it.
Yep.
Little tiny screw.
Yep. Now should we fire it up again and see how it sounds? No baffle. Sounds way better.
see.
So we got our front brake lever on, and the T-bracket, the split bracket's mounted up to our bottom of our front fender there. And we got one caliper that's gonna come down here, and then one that'll come down to this side right there like that. And we'll have dual front brakes on this thing. It's gonna be insane. Russell's still working on the brackets over here. He's welding them up. So, he's tacking it. We got the front brackets on. Looking good. Clamped nice and tight around the forks. So now we'll be able to build off of the back of this down to a bracket to bolt this up around their caliper there, or our rotor. It's coming out nice though. Front end's coming along good. And the center here is gonna get a hole cut in it for a headlight. And we're gonna put an LED strip across the bottom here, so the bottom here will glow, and then they'll have our headlight coming out the center right there with a piece of like plexiglass or something. But that's for the future. Right now there's not gonna be any headlights. We just wanna make it run and drive. That's the main priority. It's getting closer every day. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video of us working on the 500cc mini bike again, aka the Kraken.
Good to be back, getting stuff finished up on it and getting even closer to a test.
Yup, it's almost there. In the next one, we'll be finalizing a lot more things with the rear end and finishing up the brakes with the front end. So stay tuned for that. We gotta get the carb tuned a little bit better. And now that we got the exhaust, we can keep working on that, because before we didn't have the exhaust, so it was hard to tune a carb with no exhaust. So now we can do that and hopefully get it running a lot better.
And get started on running chain.
Yeah, get the jag shaft, building rear suspension, and then they'll be almost ready for a test ride. So stay tuned for the next video. God bless.